We're on a tough ship here. Hey, good morning and welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Looking at our players of the week from last week, offensively, Austin Carr had another outstanding game. Big playmaker was Justin Jackson. Justin, although hasn't been at 100 yards the last few games, has been really playing real physical and really proud of what he's doing without the ball in his hands. Obviously, we've got to be more consistent when he is running it, but really proud of what he's doing without the ball in his hands. Tyler Lancaster defensively. And then Godwin Igwe-Buke was our big playmaker. That was a huge play that he made on the goal line, ripping the ball out, giving us a chance to win the game. Special teams-wise, again, was Flynn Nagel. Again, I think being aggressive as a punt returner while still being smart. And then I thought was really good in the kickoff return game also. Stephen Reese was our offensive practice player of the week. Trent Goins on defense and Josh Roberts on special teams, giving great effort. But, Austin had a career-high 8 receptions for 109 and a touchdown. And, again, he's leading the Big Ten in receptions and yards. And, 18 of his 26 receptions have gone for first down. So he's having a great year and off to a great start. I thought Jalen Prater was very active, too, in the game. And I thought Godwin, for the most part, outside of a couple of missed tackled opportunities that he had, played very well. Looking to this week, obviously tough trip. One of the cathedrals of college football out of Kinnick, tough place to play. They've got great fans and terrific support. Coach Ferentz and his staff have done an outstanding job. Greg and Phil have been with them for 5 years now as just coordinators. And, Kirk's the dean of the Big Ten, 18th year, and has done just an absolutely terrific job. Really impressed with how hard they're playing, and it's Iowa. I mean, they do what they do, and they do it very well. They're well coached. They're schematically outstanding, and they've got very talented football players. You compound that with the home field advantage that they have. This will be a terrific test for us. So expect the guys will have a great week, and we'll get ourselves prepared to go compete. So with that, how about some questions, please?
Get out on the road. Not that you guys don't like playing at home, but just kind of change things up a little bit, maybe galvanize guys a little more than maybe you would if you're here at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there's always some camaraderie that comes together when you're on the road. We'll kind of wheels up at about 11 o'clock on Friday morning and head out to Iowa City. And yeah, the guys get to spend some more quality time with each other, and there's no doubt about that. But no, I'd always prefer to play at home if I had a choice. But this will be definitely a great challenge and a huge first test. To see our guys handle it. I mean, they're not going to play in a tougher environment than Kinnick, so it'll be a great challenge.
Fitz, a lot of tough talk from you after the loss about, getting tough with the guys, coaching the hell out of them this week. Mm-hmm. For fans who see that and they say, well, why haven't you been doing that since the first day of training camp? What do you say?
I have been.
And then, you made it sound like after Saturday that it was going to get even tougher.
Well, yeah, we're going on the road. It's going to be a hard game. I haven't changed my coaching style. I've been coaching the guys hard. I've gone through the plan that I typically go through each year, tweak it based on the team, based on our health. But my routine through training camp, my routine through the first month of the season probably hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot in the last maybe 8 years, maybe 9 years. And then you figure out what your team is after you watch them play, and then you kind of evolve and change. But I think we practice pretty hard around here.
So, Coach, Iowa's a team that you've talked about in the past as having a really strong identity as a football team. Mm-hmm. Looking at the 2016 version, mm-hmm. Is that still what you see? Yeah,
very similar. Great running the football. Schematically, they know exactly what they're doing and how they want to do things. And if you take one thing away, they'll go to something else. Build really good complements off of it. In their play action pass game, and that's where they've made a lot of big plays this year. Is complements off their base run plays, and being able to throw the ball down the field. And then defensively, they just do a terrific job in their 4 down front. Their linebackers do a terrific job fitting in the right gaps. They've always been on the same page with their D-line, based out of kind of a quarter scheme. But they have a very specific plan for each team that they play, and they typically execute it very well. They play great players in the kicking game. They've always had an outstanding kicking game, very physical. And this is no different. And then, King back there as a return man can take it to the house, not only as a punt returner, but also as a kick returner. So, just an outstanding, solid squad, top to bottom.
Hey, Coach. Depth chart this week at kicker, it says Jack Mitchell or Matt McCucci. How is that going to be decided? And what's the plan for Saturday at kicker?
The plan on Saturday is whoever has the most consistent week will go out there, and then the plan is to make field goals and extra points.
Jack has kicked a lot of field goals for you. Is there anything you see right now that?
Yeah, there's some inconsistencies fundamentally. I think he hit the ground a couple times too on Saturday, and the extra point and the field goal. And his hips were he kind of hit the old dread straight ball for the golfers in the room. His hips he hit it right where his hips were. He didn't have proper aim on the right hash kick, hit the ball straight, and it seemed like toe wrapped a little bit on the extra point. And then he comes back in the next extra point and he hit a pure. It was great. And then he kicked off great. So, just inconsistent, and he's got to get consistent fundamentally. He's always played his draw, and when he's, not his hips and his plant foot and everything aren't all in concert, he seems to push it. And, for a guy that plays the draw, when you're pushing the ball, you're going to leave things off to the right, and that's what he's done now multiple times. He's missed 2 field goals to the right because he's pushed it. His hips have been aiming that way, and he's just pushed the ball off to the right, and that's got to get fixed. He hasn't been doing that a whole lot in practice. It's just really been in the game.
Fitz, the last couple of years, we've seen staff shakeups in the middle of the season in college football. It's kind of unusual. Before that, what's your thought on that?
Well, I think that, first of all, my thought is always about the players. You run your program for the players. It's player-based and player-focused and player-driven. And so I've always operated that way first and foremost. What can we do to put together a plan to give our guys the best opportunity to succeed? And then, in game, if the plan wasn't working, then to adjust it and things of that nature. As far as what you look at as far as personnel, you got to make sure you make the right decisions with that too. You have a plan going into it. And if it's not working, then maybe you got to put a different player in there, so to speak. When I look at it from a staff standpoint, I look at it from a body of work. I don't look at it from a play-by-play, game-by-game. I look at it from a body of work. And I make those decisions based on everything that goes into that. That's not a weekly or a daily decision. That's a 365-day-a-year decision. So that's how I evaluate it. I don't know anybody else's situation. I don't know anybody else's staff. I don't know anybody else's program. I'm not there. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form to pass judgment on those situations because I don't know all the inside information of what may be going on. But I believe in our players. I believe in our staff. I believe in what we do, and we just try to continue to do it better.
Coach, it came out last week that Anthony Walker had not been fully healthy at the beginning of the year, and he had sort of a breakout game against Duke, but he was kind of quiet again on Saturday, only 4 tackles. What's going on with him? Are other teams trying to scheme against him to keep him out of the play, or is he still hampered by something?
No, what did he do? He missed 1 tackle, I think, early in the first quarter. I think he had a chance on one other reverse play in the alley, had a ball in his hands. It could have been a big interception, so I think he was around the ball a handful of other times and just didn't make the plays that I think he'd really want to make, especially that interception opportunity probably changes the complexion of the game. It would have been a huge momentum swing if that would have happened. But no, he plays middle linebacker. People are going to block you. That's the way that it goes. And a year ago, I think people ran a little bit more, especially early to the perimeter, and he was unblocked and made a lot of plays unblocked. But I've seen improvement over the last few weeks as he's gotten himself kind of in better game shape after coming off the injury during training camp.
Fitz, 2 questions. 3 of the Nebraska players took a knee and locked arms during the national anthem. Has that discussion come about at all with your team? Have you talked to the guys about anything?
Yeah, no, it's not come up with our guys.
What do you see as the benefits of having the same staff year after year? Is there a cohesiveness? Is it that you just believe you have the absolute right guys?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, I'll go back to my playing days. I had the privilege to play for the same coaching staff, and we won back-to-back Big Ten championships. And I think there was great camaraderie within the locker room with the players and the coaches. I think we were all on the same page. I think we all understood the same expectations. I think we were able to battle through a lot of things together. Now that I've been in this leadership role, you see the trials and tribulations that you go through every day, and I think you have to have the right people in place. I think it's people that are driven for the right reasons. Why do you coach? Do you coach to develop and teach and make people better? Are you about the right things on and off the field? Are you the right character man? Schematically, are we doing the right things? Are we doing the right research? Are we teaching the right things? Are you building the type of relationships with players that are going to make them better and things of that nature? So, I've typically looked at it from that standpoint. And then I look at the body of work, and I've been blessed. I mean, Jerry's been my assistant head coach now the whole time. He's been here 24 years. He's the all-time winningest assistant coach in program history. He's mentored and developed a ton of guys. And he and Mick and Hank are part of the leadership team, kind of the two coordinators and the assistant head coach. We've won more football games than any other staff in program's history. So I think we've had great success. We've graduated 100% of our guys. They're all doing incredibly amazing things. I guess you'd say 22 to 32 or 23 to 33 for all the guys that have graduated. So, I look at it holistically. I always have, and I think I always will continue to do that. Do I always think that we can be better? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that starts and ends with me. I'm the leader of the ship. But if I think we've attracted, recruited, and retained with great generosity and support from the university, just a terrific group of men and a terrific group of coaches. And I'm very thankful for their loyalty, not only to the program, but to our players. I'm very thankful for their families, and I'm very thankful for the job that they do.
Coach, Nebraska had 310 rushing yards and 6.6 yards per attempt on Saturday. What do you think was the problem with the run defense? Were they on the field too long? Were there too many missed tackles, or just poor?
Yeah, no,
scheme?
7 plays for, I think, 170 yards. There were 7 explosive plays. That was the problem. So the other, however many, we were fine. I don't think all those were runs. I think a couple were passes, but that was the difference in the game, and we have typically been pretty good there. A couple were from mental mistakes. A couple were from missed tackles. One was from having bad eyes on the double move with the redshirt freshman corner. So that's 5 out of 7 that jump out to me. I think that was the problem.
Hey, Coach. Matt McCucci's obviously been around the program a while. What have you seen from him in practice this year, last few years? What makes you think that he could maybe be a answer to problems at kicker?
He's been really consistent in practice. A year ago when Jack had an injury, he stepped up kicking off. And, again, we'll let that competition unfold. Jack's made a lot of kicks for us, and I've got confidence in him. He's got to have confidence in himself. Go out there and do it consistently. It's kicking's a lot like the golf analogy. You can overthink it, and when you overthink it, you're in deep trouble. And you just got to trust your swing and go out and do it. And so my hope is that both guys have a great week. And I've got a tough decision when we get to Saturday. Really, I'll probably make it Thursday, but, in preparation for Saturday, I should say.
Will you have a kicking competition per se, Pat? I know a lot of pro teams do that during the week sometimes.
Well, they have a tryout. I'm not having a tryout. No. I will just go practice and see who has a great week. Yeah, please.
To Teddy's first question earlier about your coaching style, you said as the season goes along, you learn what your team is and you make changes accordingly. What have you learned that this team is, and what changes have they?
Yeah, well, I think we were pretty inconsistent in the first couple games. And so trying to solidify that consistency, and I still don't think we're there yet, comes from repetition, obviously, and that doesn't change. But, making sure that the situations we're putting our guys in practice are as competitive as they possibly can be, because the issue wasn't necessarily practice all the time. Maybe one practice I didn't like throughout the whole time that we've been together with this group. The issue's been game execution, so trying to put them in as realistic type game practice situations as we can from a standpoint of intensity. We'll always do it situational football. Everybody does that. But from an intensity standpoint, probably, especially the last 2 weeks after we got out of training camp mode, probably haven't had this intensive practices in maybe 5 years. Or so, I would guess. So that's probably what's changed.
Coach Clayton had his best game in terms of completion percentage on Saturday night. You didn't hit the big plays you did against Duke in the passing game anyway. How much of that was by design or what Nebraska did, and how do you evaluate his performance overall?
I'd probably give it a C plus ish. We can't turn the ball over in the red zone. We can't take 2 sacks in the high red zone. When we're across the 50 there at the end of the first half, we moved the ball really well. We had some guys that, that were open that we didn't hit. So I think he's got to be much more consistent. He knows that.
I love a good fake. What did you see on the attempt on the fake field goal there, and how could that have worked better?
Well, they didn't cover everybody, so that would have been nice if they did. So a little bit more pressure than maybe I anticipated, but I thought we got what we wanted. It was the same fake that Cal ran against us a couple of years ago, so I'll give Sonny and his staff some credit. I liked it. But we didn't block the point of attack, so we had our right guard and right tackle didn't block. So if they would have blocked the guys, we would have had the first down. Probably about 13-ish, maybe 14 seconds left, which would have given us 2 shots in the end zone, which is why I did it.
And also was part of it because of the Jack's out in the tough time?
No.
Oh, that had nothing to do with it.
No. Oh, no. I wanted to try to score a touchdown. Yeah. Yeah, you wanted a fake. I mean, I got the tweet from you during the game. I read it. Oh, well, I don't. I just want to run him to a PG, buddy.
Coach,
No. Yeah, no, it was close. It was close.
questions, Coach. Will Clayton Thorson be getting some sliding instructions coming up in the next few days?
Are you available?
Yeah.
It's probably an NCAA
I
violation.
was only a catcher, though.
Yeah.
No, I was looking here in your notes, and there were some comparisons made to Austin Carr and Jeremy Ebert. Can you tell us a little bit about those 2 players and how they might be different or similar?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit different. Jeremy, high school quarterback, that came here and really became the receiver that he did based on a ton of experience. He played a lot of football for us, and you just saw him get better and better each year. But a guy that we, really heavily recruited. And then Austin, a guy that we didn't even know anything about. He just showed up and, early on in his career was kind of just a journeyman special teams guy. And the similar maturation, though, both guys, Jeremy before, now Austin, just really were tireless at their preparation and tireless in their work ethic. And to see the success that Austin's having is not a surprise. Because that's where, again, another similarity is both guys' work ethic was just unbelievable. So very, very pleased, very happy for Austin because I don't think anybody works harder than he does. And, I think that's usually there's a direct correlation to that, your work ethic and then the success.
Are they similar in speed and size?
I couldn't tell you what Austin will run the 40 in for the pros. Jeremy ran real fast. Freaky fast. So I don't know if Austin's going to run that fast, but I think all that doesn't really matter. I think both highly, at this point now, we've got a lot of chapters left of the season. I mean, there's a lot of football left, but I would say that Austin's off to a great start to start to have those types of comparisons to Jeremy. But, that's got to obviously continue now through Big Ten play, which is going to get increasingly more difficult.
Pat, how important do you think the visibility of the success of Trevor Siemian is for the Northwestern program, having a quarterback play that well in the NFL?
Well, first of all, we're very proud of him, and we're ecstatic with the way that he's playing. I can't say that I've watched a lot of plays. Sunday's a pretty busy day for us. And I'll have some of my guys give me kind of a report and an update on how all of our NFL guys do, and we're very proud of all of them. But, it's amazing. Nobody's been talking to me about Zach Strief. He's over a decade of playing, multi-year captain of the Saints. Nobody, right there, I mean, we've been doing it. Nobody talks to me about the tackle. Everybody wants to talk to me about the second-year quarterback. So, I make light of that because I get it. I mean, I understand it, and he's obviously playing for an outstanding football team, and the reigning Super Bowl champions. But again, nobody here is surprised. I said it before. I wish we could have redshirted him again. We knew his best football was ahead of him, and he just needed the right opportunity in the right place. And obviously, I think he was incredibly fortunate to be picked where he was and to go to the organization that he's at. Not only for what he has as far as opportunity now, that I don't think any of us could have crystal balled, right, based on the way their offseason went, but I think more importantly, the way that the organization's run with John and Coach Kubiak and Coach Knapp. I think you've got an unbelievable brain trust of quarterback development there and success. And then he's got the opportunity, right? He's got a chance to play. And he's got an unbelievable supporting cast around him, and I think he's doing a good job taking care of the football. From what I've been told, what did he have, 4 touchdowns and no picks or something like that? Is that what I was told? That's pretty good. I don't think he did that here. So, like I said, that red shirt year would have been pretty cool. Yeah, so we're really proud of him. He's got a bright future ahead of him. I hope it's a long time plan, but that won't be his identity. He'll be very successful as a husband whenever that happens, and a father, and whatever he chooses to do professionally after football. But I'm really proud of him.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you.
Awesome, guys. Thanks. Have a great one. Go Cats.
Coach said explosion plays were the kind of the difference in the rushing game. You guys stuffed them a lot of times, but too many explosion plays. Can you talk a little bit about that, both of you?
Yeah, we obviously let up too many explosion plays, which led to points. Anytime you can limit those and win that battle, you have a good chance of winning the game. And we let up too many of those. Just some missed assignments, missed tackles. But we're going to work to get those fixed. We'll look at it critically and try to get them fixed this week in preparation for Iowa.
Yeah, that definitely made a big difference. Coach Hank brought it up to us that most of the plays, we were doing good on the run. It was just those key few plays that were explosive that really hurt us. And if we can limit those explosive plays, we could definitely make a difference.
So, both of you, looking ahead to Iowa this week, that game last year, Fitz said at the time that, you all really got dominated in the trenches. Coming off of this run performance this week, you guys mad about that? Are you really looking forward to sort of getting a chance to maybe beat Iowa this week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially inside. D-line loves focusing on stopping the run. It's something we take pride in. And they got a lot of explosive plays this past week. We're definitely going to try to stop that. We take pride in the fact that they can't run inside on us, especially us D tackles. And that's what we're going for. We're going to try to stop the run, make them pass, and play defense from there.
In order to win Big Ten games, you have to stop the run. So that's the first thing we'll look at in the film room and as a defense. And that's obviously a big part of who Iowa is and always has been. So we'll take a look at that and focus on stopping the run first.
With Anthony Walker sort of struggling with some health things earlier in the year, and then seems like teams sort of scheming ways to block him and keep him out. How does that increase the pressure on you guys to make the tackles and make plays defensively?
We're a team defense. Anthony is a great player for us, and he's going to continue to make plays like he always has. But as a linebacker group, we look at the film together, and we look how to stop the run and stop passes together. I wouldn't necessarily say it puts more pressure on us on the outside or any other linebacker. We just go out there and do what we do and try to do it to the best of our ability. So,
yeah. As a D lineman, especially as a D tackle, like part of our job is to take up those double teams and save the middle linebackers from one of those blockers. We're just gonna keep doing our job. We're gonna play as if he were not there. It doesn't make a difference to us.
Both of you guys were around last year, obviously, when the defense was dominant. You guys are very good at getting off the field, and this year you've struggled in that area. The teams have converted third downs and had some long drives against you, and you've given up yards and things like that. What do you see as a difference between last year and this year, and how much of that is just personnel, or what are some things you've noticed?
I don't think it really has anything to do with
with personnel or play calling or anything like that. All that's similar. We just got to go out there on third down with the mentality to get off the field. A missed assignment here or there, a one-man breakdown here or there is costly. Yeah, so.
I don't believe it has anything to do with the players that we have. I think we have the talent to get off the field. I think it's just, trusting ourselves. Sometimes we may not do that. Sometimes we may try to do too much. It's all about doing our job, and maybe the right mentality hasn't been there, but that's what we're going to focus on.
Anything else for these two guys? All right, let them go. Thanks, guys. The ball, so if you have a question for offensive lineman Tommy Dolan on your left or wide receiver Andrew Scanlon on your right, please ask for the mic. I appreciate you jumping in first.
Both of you guys, you feel like the passing game is getting there where it's can be something that can be averaging 250, 300 yards a game and moving the ball down the field like it's been the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, for the offensive line, it's exciting to see what our receivers are able to do. We just know that if we can give Clayton time, our receivers are going to get open. They've been playing phenomenally. And so we just know that it's on us. Protect the quarterback. They're going to make plays.
Yeah, 250, 300 yards, whatever it may be. That'd be great to pass for every single game. But for us, I know something that we pride in our wide receiver room is productivity. How productive are we on third down when we need that 5 yards? Are we getting it? Are we getting there? And I think guys in our room are really working hard to do it, and guys in other rooms, super back room, and guys out of the backfield that are coming out of there, Justin and so on and so forth. They're doing a great job getting where they need to be and really giving Clayton a good target and getting open going forward.
So for Andrew, the wide receiver group seems just, improved totally across the board this year from last year. From your perspective, what seems different from a year ago?
Attitude towards improvement every single week, no matter what the numbers may seem to be or whatever we come up with, we always want to get better. We see the wins and the loss column, and it's not where it was last year, but in our room, we're more productive. We understand that. And we just feel like in order to get those wins, we want to do more. So guys are really stepping up, and guys are really trying hard to provide for the team in every way, shape, or form. That includes special teams, something that's overlooked as well.
Just wondering, you guys are probably aware, football teams around the country, some guys are kneeling for the national anthem, some guys are locking arms, some Nebraska guys did that. Any discussion at all within the team about protesting or not protesting or anything along those lines?
No, that hasn't been discussed outside of just conversations in the locker room about larger issues. I think this is a socially conscious football team. We're at Northwestern, but that has not been discussed as far as participating in such protests.
Yeah, I think what's been going on has really opened the forum for discussion in our locker room, and it's important to talk about. But no, Tommy and I haven't heard anything of any protest or non-protest or anything going forward at all from the guys in our room.
Tom, you got 4 starts underneath your belt now. Tell us a little bit about your advancement at right guard and where you are mentally and how comfortable you feel there, et cetera.
Yeah, I've been growing in confidence. And one thing after my first Big Ten start is just realizing the margin for error is so small. There are a few times fundamentally where I was just a few inches off with my steps. I didn't have my hands in the right spot, and that gets you beat. And so there's not much room for error in the Big Ten, but I've loved the opportunities I've had to be able to go out and contribute to the team. But again, I mean, we want to be a unit that is helping our team win. So I feel like I've been benefiting from the experience a lot, but there's still a long way to go. I got to be better fundamentally, got to be more consistent with that. But looking forward to getting more into the Big Ten season.
Andrew, can you give us a progress report on Clayton as far as seeing the field, and you feel like he's growing in that position each week?
I mean, Clayton's done phenomenal, I think. He's really seeing the field well across the board, reading his keys. And I think something that's helping with that is meeting 3-4 times a week with him, with all the wide receivers, not just me, not just Austin Carr or Flynn Nagel. You know, all of us come in here, 10 of us, if not more, come in here, and we try to read what he's reading, and we try and get a feel for what he's doing, just so he feels more comfortable back there. And you feel that sense just by the way he's walking around here, just by the way he's talking to us, talking to the O-line, and so on and so forth. I think he's doing a really good job reading the field well. He's definitely taking a step forward each and every week, and I hope he continues to improve.